Alright guys, here's another educational video for y'all. This one's gonna be pretty difficult, which I'm sorry for, but it's probably one of the most important things you can learn apart from the video I did about starting in the space with 1 to 5k only, or the ones about the narratives and the cycles. Those are probably the best videos to watch. This one could be, but it's very hard for me to even plan what I'm gonna say here, but it's about vetting projects. So what are the things that you should be looking for when you're picking a play? And I did a great video on utility as well. It's also in that narrative and cycle one, I guess. So I don't want to repeat myself too much, but one of the main consistent things, if you're looking for a more serious play that you can hold on and not be, burned on as easily, just look for charts that are holding good floors over a long period of time. And then go into the Telegram and see how many team members are there. If there's one team member and one dev, not a good sign. I think you want to see at least 4 people, 5 people even, and definitely a lot more if you can, as admins in the chat. But not just admins, like make sure they're contributing to the pinned as well. If the pinned messages is always the same guy, that's not a great sign. You want to make sure every team member is chipping in and a close member of the team, not just some random hired mod. So factoring in how big the team is, how many pinned messages are there. If there's only like 10 pinned messages and it's a few weeks old, I mean, that's not very good. You want to see a lot of pinned. You want to go through the pinned. What are they talking about? What's the updates? Are they delivering on stuff? Are they getting good marketing? Or is it like 2 months old and they just got listed on CMC finally? So keep track of what's in the pinned, how many people are contributing to it, how active the team is. Keep your eye on the chat. Check it a couple times a day at random times. See how many team members are there. See what they're saying. See what the community's saying. See what questions they're asking. See what their sentiment is like. So if you have a good holding chart and it hasn't exploded yet, it's kind of bounced between 300k and a million for a long time, like a month, and the team's there every day, and the narrative is good, and the community still believes in it, and they're still pushing, those are often your safest bets. And if you plan the right entry point on them, yeah, you might be able to swing it for 2x or 3x. But I just buy them and forget about them. And then one day they'll just pop off like crazy. Not all the time, obviously, but if you're looking for like a more comfortable hold that will free up your time to learn about the space and find other plays, that's my golden recipe, I guess. Good holding charts, active community, active team, sizable team, going through the pinned messages, all that kind of stuff. So that's what I do on like the more serious plays, the midterm plays, and obviously I factor in if it's a meme coin, what's the narrative, how strong is it, what can they do with it, what are the different options, what have they done so far, what are they planning to do. And if it's a utility, I make sure it's not a recycled one, like it's not a sniper, it's not a bot scanner, it's not a play scanner, it's not a AI trading bot, because all those have been done to death. So I look for original utility with potential to generate revenue, or something that's actually useful. But yeah, so that's kind of on your quick plays, on your more serious plays. And then like longer term plays, listen to our AMAs and you'll figure it out. Like Maurice, we have AMAs with projects that last like a year, 2 years. And Maurice actually holds his bags that entire time, and he's printed insane money on a few of them. So if you want a longer term play, you should probably listen to an AMA and really understand the project. But check out the website as well. Go through the white paper if you have time. The website will tell you a lot. Yeah, it comes with experience, but that's why I said it's so difficult. I try to do vetting live during my Twitter spaces, and I show people what kind of questions would I ask projects. So it always depends on the project though, but there are a lot of similar things. So everyone will tell you they have a strong community, but the only way to prove it is just go in their Telegram all the time at random times and check for yourself. Okay, so on the more Degen ones that are a day old, 2 days old, 3 days old, these ones are tough because a lot of the Solana plays, the devs will launch, the devs will sell all their tokens, and then the community will form sometimes. Doesn't always work out, so oftentimes it's better to kind of suss it out and wait and see how legitimate the team is. But if you don't know how good the team is, it's probably because you didn't find it from a good channel like myself. because we will tell you when a team is good, or we'll tell you when we don't know. So if you're following good channels and they tell you a team is good, you can feel a lot safer. But other than that, you're just completely rolling the dice. So check out the holder distribution. Make sure there's not a bunch of airdropped wallets. Make sure there's not a lot of sniped wallets, all the same amount, 1.6, 1.6, 1.6. Make sure there's not really big holders. Make sure it's pretty evenly distributed. You don't want to see anything like over 2. Like you don't want to see like 2.8, 2.7, 2.3, 2.2, 2.1, 2.0, 1.9, 1.8, 1.8, 1.8, 1.7. That's pretty fucking stacked. You want to see, ideally you would want to see like 2, 1.6, 1.4, 1.4, 1.2, 1.1, 1.0, 0.9, 0.7, and then a bunch of like 0.5s and under would be like ideal, but it almost never happens. But take a look at the distribution. Keep your eye on the team. If you see Mad Apes or Degen Gems or Maestro's Gambles and they're pinned in the chat early, most of the time it's going to be a shit team. So you have to wait out the team, wait for them to farm it, and then see if the community forms. But most of the time it's not going to work. Those channels are complete dog shit, and you have to realize dog shit channels work with dog shit devs. So join the Telegram, see who's called it. When I join the Telegram and I see that like nobody's called it except for like 3 channels I've never heard of, I get a lot more bullish than when I see those other 3 names, because I'm like, huh, this project's doing pretty well, it looks kind of bullish, and you know, these guys who called it, I don't really even know about them. So I'll go to those guys' pages and I'll check them out and see what kind of calls they do. Do they seem like good callers, or do they seem like, you know, they're the devs of this project and they're trying to grow their brand here, which is obviously a bad sign. So taking a look at who called it and what they said about it, and then obviously if you see a bunch of those channels I listed from the Cabal, I listed them on my Gambles page the other day. If you see a bunch of Cabal people posting it, it's probably bad news as well. So seeing the people who have called it, keeping your eye on the chat, keeping your eye on the team, the wallet distribution, that's basically all I can tell you. And then you're factoring in how hype it is, how hype the narrative is, what the potential is, what the expectations are. But like I said, this video is not going to be very useful. Take a look at some of my other videos and I'll explain to you how to take profits on these riskier plays. But in terms of picking them, like, people will come to me and they'll ask me, they'll say, hey Caesar, I bought this coin, it's 3 months old, it's at this market cap, I just want to know your thoughts on it. And I'd say the same thing every time. I don't really have the time to go in telegrams just because one guy wants to know my opinion on one call. I'm a very busy guy. I do so many things in this space at the same time every day. So I tell them the same things every time. Well, you should be in the chat. You should know what you're invested in. There's several coins I have pinned in my Telegram, and I check them all the time. I'm not even invested in them. I haven't even called them. I just keep my eye on them. And that's what you should do as investors, is be in the Telegram as much as you can and just watch what's happening. Watch what the team is doing, watch what the community is doing, read their messages, and just keep your eye on the project, basically. And I'm sorry we didn't get a bunch of great tips for this one. I do have some written down in my Google Docs, which I've posted on my Gambles page before. You can, search it up. So I have some handwritten tips there as well, but, it's kind of difficult. It comes with experience. And if you ever watch me do it live and you watch my thought process as I vet certain projects, you'll get the hang of it, but that's just something that's going to come over time. But please check out my other videos. They're a lot better than this one, I swear. Thanks for your time.